Charles Barkley recently said he wants to beat up or punch black Trump supporters. And he said it in a tweet, I believe. And now he's on his show, and Gayle King is bringing it up, saying, hey, I saw you said this, and they have a short discussion about it. But are you going to beat up these guys? Are you going to punch Mike Tyson, Charles Barkley? That's Mike Tyson with a Trump shirt on. Oh, yeah, it was not Trump supporters, black people who wear the Trump mugshot shirt. He wants to punch them. So let's play it.
And obviously, I'm only speaking for myself. The reason I think the Democratic Party and Mr. Biden, President Biden, is losing black votes is they only care about black people every 4 years. They come into our neighborhoods and say, we're going to make stuff better. We're going to do this, do this, do this. And then finally, us black people are like, man, other than our ability to dunk a basketball, all my neighborhoods are still the same. Our schools are still the same. And that's why I think black people are leaving disappointed in the Democratic Party, because I ain't gonna lie, I voted Democratic every time just because I thought it was gonna help black people and poor people. Because black people and poor white people, they're in the same boat. And like, I didn't care who the president was, I'm not gonna lie, but I only voted Republican one time in my life, and that was for John Kasich, and I didn't even know he couldn't win. But then I'm starting to look like, man, I understand why black people are leaving, want to vote for somebody else, because every 4 years they come into our neighborhood and say, man, we're going to make things better for you. When Donald Trump compares his plight with that of the black person, that is what I had a problem with. Now, I do want to say this. I want to make it perfectly clear. If you're a black person and you're wearing a Donald Trump mugshot, you are a freaking idiot. And I'm only saying freaking idiot because they won't let me say what I really want to say. But you can figure it out. It starts with an F.
Okay. Now I wouldn't necessarily just based off that sentence disagree. I would need more information to disagree, and luckily I have that information. Charles Barkley has some nerve to be calling out black people for being conservative after he voted for John Kasich. And this guy is conservative. Charles Barkley. Just like the people in this class. And you heard him say, I didn't really care who was the president. That's because you were making millions, like at 20. That's why you didn't care who was president. Let's go to another video. This is a black Trump supporter. This is his response to Charles Barkley. Of course, all the 6'5", 230-pound black Negroes are coming out saying, what you gonna do, Charles?
Let me give you a brief history lesson. An overseer was a black guy. His job was to keep other black slaves in check. The overseer was fed well. He had free range. He was paid well, had the best women. And his job was to keep other black slaves in check by whipping them, even killing them in front of everybody. That's what an overseer was, and we have overseers today. Charles Barkley was on CNN. He was paid well, and he made a threat to any black guy that will wear a MAGA hat. He will punch them. Charles Barkley is today's overseer.
All of the black bourgeoisie is today's overseer. All of the black bourgeoisie is an overseer. Van Jones, Kamala Harris, these are all overseers. So you had those overseers on the plantation. They were coons. You also had coons who weren't overseers like you, sir, with your Trump support. So there weren't just one type of coon, one type of house Negro. Not all house Negroes were overseers. Some of them were just like you, just simple house Negroes. This is Mike Tyson. I would love to see Charles Barkley go at Mike Tyson. And Mike Tyson's considerably shorter. Mike Tyson has fought, like most of his fights, he was fighting people taller than him. This guy who's my height, Mike Tyson, maybe an inch taller, half an inch taller, would destroy Charles Barkley today. If you haven't seen him train, he looks the same to me. And I'm not even a Trump supporter at all, but I am a person who don't like the guy said, I don't like these black bourgeoisie people. Gayle King is terrible. Also, Oprah is terrible. All of these people are terrible. LeBron, they all are. Let me see if this is this might have a slightly different part.
Don't mean that.
Oh, I mean that sincerely. I'm gonna just tell you.
How do I make this bigger? Okay, there it goes.
What did you think?
That's
Big sigh.
This is the one I clicked. Why is it not opening the right one?
What did you think? Big sigh.
First
Big
of all,
sigh.
I'm just gonna say this. If I see a black person walking around with Trump mugshot, I'm gonna punch him in the face.
Charles,
I know, Gail.
Charles,
Gail.
you really can't say that because you don't mean that.
Oh, I mean that sincerely. I'm gonna just tell you something.
And then you will be arrested for assault. And then what?
I'm gonna
He'll
bail
post
myself
bail.
out and go celebrate. If I
Don't encourage him. Don't encourage him. Okay, but go ahead.
Seriously.
Continue.
First of all, if I was at
that conference, yeah.
I'd have got up and walked out. That was an insult to all black people. Because he basically just.
What did you think?
It's so bizarre to me to hear these black bourgeoisie talk about Trump in the way that they should talk about Joe Biden, who tangibly did bad things to the black community with the crime bill. That's a tangible thing, not rhetoric. And the people in the bourgeois class, they always seem to side with rhetoric because rhetoric is public. It's what people talk about. You know what I mean? Anyone's to pretend like Donald Trump is a bigger racist than Joe Biden is just simply not being honest. And if they're a black person, they should be punched in the same way that Charles Barkley is saying somebody should be punched.